Our regiment has managed to break through the enemy's main defense line, and we are advancing deep into the enemy's rear. By advancing this fast, we do risk exposing our flanks. Already, enemy stragglers and reserve units are staging for an attack. It is our task to capture a nearby hilltop and make sure that the flank of our advance is secure. Hello there, and welcome back to the fields of central Germany. After playing the M60 last week in Steel Armor Blaze of War, I was now in the mood for something a little bit more modern. And so today we are playing with one of our favorites, the M1 Abrams. Really a lovely tank. I really like its mobility, I really like its firepower, and its armor is great too. Overall, a really awesome weapon. Now, as for our mission today, it's an interesting one. So we are tasked with clearing the flank of a friendly advance. For that we have to push up to objective green and hold it. On the way, enemies are expected to be on a line from here to here basically. So we'll have to take care of them as we advance on objective green. As you can tell, the weather is not great today. Not sure if that will pose problems for us, but we'll see. Let's start heading out. We're starting to head out. Oh boy, thermals. How I've missed those. Having thermals is such a great deal, and not only thermals but also, you know, a fire computer with a laser rangefinder. That's just really awesome stuff. I have with me 3 other tanks, of which I currently see only one. Ah, there's another one, okay. They're struggling a little bit to keep up. I'm gonna go a little bit slower here. It looks like we are going up this hill here. It looks like it has a distinct edge ahead of us. I guess that when we drive over that edge, that is where we will find problems. Or the problems will find us. So let's be careful. I don't know where exactly the enemies are. I'll wait a little bit for tank number 4 to arrive in formation. No idea where he is right now. A bit behind. A little bit behind. I think I should go and check on him. Not him. Not him. It's you. Okay, he is coming. He's just really taking his time to do so. Enemy infantry! Pin him down. That's an RPG gunner. Okay. I have artillery. Let's keep them pinned in place. And as we keep them pinned in place, the artillery can then come in and take them out. I have to be careful that none of them get an RPG shot off at us. They can't really do it if I keep hosing them down with machine gun fire. Can't get their heads up. And now the artillery is starting to land. So they're in a really bad spot. Yeah, that was pretty close. I think that infantry is done. Let's continue the advance. All tanks should be with us right now. Yeah, they're down. That's how you deal with infantry. Pin them, call in the fire support. Okay, we are coming up to this line here. Anything left, anything right? This is kinda ominous looking. Fields beyond, with a wood line. I'm currently just here. Right now I don't see anything threatening. Belay that. Somebody saw something threatening. Looks like we have an enemy tank on fire. Okay, I guess I couldn't see it because of the hill line here. Infantry survivors? My tanks will deal with those. Let's keep pushing in. Oh, that was a BMP, okay. More enemy infantry. Being mown down. Even more. RPG gunner. Let's reverse out. Call more artillery. Let's keep our distance to the nasty RPGs. And here comes the artillery fire. My guess is those guys maybe came with the BMP. There might be one. There they are. They're trying to run. Keep pushing forward. The artillery keeps plastering the area. But still... Did they say anti-tank? Jesus Christ. He did fire a missile at us. But the missile actually hit his guys in front of us here. Okay, looks like we are opening up to the left here. Across the valley. That's a tank. How did he not see us? The rain and the artillery must have confused him. Let's make sure he's dead. Wait, no idea where that shell went. Let's repeat this. There we go. Infantry right. Target that way. That guy, I think, had an RPG, so it's good that he's dead. Heavy enemy contact in close proximity all the time. So far this mission is really something. I'm glad that ATGM did not hit us. Okay, objective green is just in front of us. I think it's basically that hill. We do have expected enemies to basically this direction. So let's carefully drive over this rise here. Ready for more surprise. What do we have there? Yep, that's a BMP. I could call him more artillery, but I don't have a location yet. We can just kill it here. I fired shot. Back up. Nah, I think it's good. We're just finishing up. Anything else that wants to play? That's the infantry soldier with the missile launcher. He's headed. Target. That's a tank, I believe. Where the hell did that shell go? Yeah, enemy tank sighted. No mark yet. He seems to be confused about the direction that we are coming from. Got it. That thing isn't doing anything anymore. Let's finish it off. There we go. Detonation. Okay. I think I want to push up towards objective green. Capture that. Basically go past the enemy's defense. Let's try that. Platoon formation, echelon left. Come on, guys. I'm running a bit low on AP rounds. Let me restock a few. I have 12 seconds to get one round from the ready rack. That's taking really a long time. We're waiting for the tanks to get into formation. Number 4 is still missing. There we go. Our right seems to be secure. There doesn't seem to be anything there. All I'm worried right now is our left, and our left to rear too, which is not nice. That's not a good feeling. I don't want to get too close to the forest with all this infantry swarming about. Okay, I'll load one more round, then we'll continue our advance here. Cancel this. Checking the other side of the valley. Carefully. There might be more enemies out there. I would not be at all surprised. So I'm advancing slowly and carefully, constantly scanning everything ahead to make sure that we don't miss an enemy somewhere. Or an ATGM. I'm particularly afraid of ATGMs. Enemy tanks! Reverse. Damn, commander wounded. I just popped smoke. That's too many tanks to engage like this. Platoon, formation line. Open up in a line. Let's call in close air support. Let's drop artillery on them. Everybody form up in a line. We'll wait for the airstrike, then we are going over and engaging them. Just waiting for the airstrike. I did not see them down there in the valley. My commander is now wounded. But I'm sure it's nothing too bad. He'll be fine. I think I hear the plane approaching. Yeah, there it is. Okay, he's soon gonna turn in. I'm gonna drop his bombs on them. And we'll finish what's left. Meanwhile, the artillery is landing on their position. If they haven't moved away from there, they're getting pummeled right now. The jet is turning around, ready to go in and deliver the bombs. Lining up. Release. Wait. What's over there? The jet saw something over there and bombed it. Okay, then let's make use of this artillery strike and go engage these guys. There they are. Hit one. It's on fire. Next one. No idea where the round went. There's one. Hit it. It's still okay. Over. Reload. Tank fired. Hit it. Pop smoke. He hit me, but I'm good. He very much is not good, I hope. No, he's on fire. 3 enemy tanks down. Oh boy, is there anything else? Let's use the smoke. Advance, look down into the valley. Without thermal it's impossible to see anything. That valley concerns me greatly. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm not feeling confident about this. Reverse out, we'll try something else. I might retrograde, or, well, reposition, let's call it that. I'll reposition back there. And then we'll have a look down the valley. Let's try that. Go to a completely different location. That smoke isn't mine. Platoon, formation, echelon right. Racing downhill here. Making sure that nothing sneaks up on us. Particularly looking at the rise behind us. I don't think anything would be able to sneak up on us just like that, but you know, you never know. Radio reports. Enemy force somewhere? No, I don't see anything. Okay, we do have something. More enemy infantry. Enemy troops. Enemy something. Load heat next. Enemy is retreating. Kill that BMP. Awesome job. That's a lot of enemy troops. Keep him pinned. Keep him pinned for the artillery. There's more of them. My god, how many they are running. Is the artillery landing? Not yet. Yeah, now it is. The artillery is coming down on them. Got that guy. Let's make sure that none of them escape. The artillery is cleaning up that bunch over there. They have no chance. Here they are. They're running. I should have shouldered the RPG, not your rifle. Got that now. Tanks advance. It's mop up time. Tanks coming through. Make way. Let's move through this valley and make sure that there are no more enemies ahead of us. Platoon, formation, form a wedge. Make sure we are covered both left and right. The enemy tanks all burning. They picked a bad location for rest, apparently. Nothing ahead of us. Oh boy, we did it. We have secured objective green. It is really that place right there. Where the crossroads are, I can actually see them. So, that's mission accomplished. That is mission accomplished. Boy oh boy, what a mission this was. So much enemy infantry. Scattered all over the place. Enemy tanks, enemy APCs. All kinds of threats around us. But we still did it. We came out on top. Although my commander is wounded, so I'm curious to see that damage report. But first, time for a picture. Ah, nice. Burning tanks, always a fun thing in GHPC. So, let's go and have a look at the after-action report. NATO forces, no personnel lost, no pieces of equipment lost, fired a whole bunch of shots, of course every single machine gun round is counted. Pact forces lost 41 men, 10 pieces of equipment, fired 9 shots. Okay, let's go over the things, but I'll keep the small caliber excluded because otherwise we are looking at 1345 shots. I really like to go into the deep analysis after the battle, but let's just say I'd rather not do that with small arms. Okay, here we have the first engagement. My rightmost tank spots an enemy BMP and fires an armor-piercing shot at it. The shot tears straight through the whole vehicle, through the engine here, and basically out the back. And just continues on into the distance. It's really amazing. We can now see that it's getting a ballistic trajectory, and it's continuing past these trees. Incredible how much energy a saber round has. It is absolutely insane. It really is. But yeah, this one really punched through and finished off that vehicle. A warhead was penetrated, so this thing was immediately toast. Let's continue. Ooh. Oh, the poor guy. Oh man. Okay, so this tank fires a shot, a heat round, and hits this poor soul straight on. He straight up hits the torso of this poor guy. What a way to go. Now, we continue with high explosive shells from artillery raining down near an enemy BMP. I guess I called in this artillery, yes I did, near this BMP to finish off the infantry that was around it. So the BMP I think is already dead, but you know, the artillery still keeps coming in. And then we come to the next engagement. I spot a T-55 and I fire a round straight through the side of its turret. Straight through the gunner's head and then into the loader and out the other side. My god. Straight out there. We do hit ammunition along the way. So let's see. We hit the warhead, but we did not penetrate. I don't see a mention that we actually penetrated propellant casing or a warhead. Interesting, because to me it looks like we did. But okay. I did fire another shot at this thing, which missed. How the... Did it go just through that box essentially, or through that bedroll or whatever that is? Through the tarp? Damn. Well, I follow up with another shot and this one goes straight through the turret ring, once again out the other side, but along the way this one does hit and penetrate propellant casing, yeah. So the tank is now on fire. We can see that the commander and the driver managed to bail out. By the way, wouldn't it be lovely if in GHPC the tank crews bailing out would also be entities, you know, infantry soldiers that are trying to run away, like in steel armor? I think, in my opinion, it adds so much atmosphere when you see a tank crew actually bailing out of the tank after it has been hit. Maybe with some of them on fire. But yeah, it just adds a lot to the atmosphere. I fire at something and I miss. I think I missed a lot today. Okay, this round fell short. And then one of my other tanks fired a shot at that same thing. It's a BMP. He fired 464 meters. A heat shell hits the turret of this poor BMP. Basically straight there into the side of the turret. The poor gunner gets obliterated, well, his head is. And I think that this vehicle ceases to be a threat. I wouldn't be surprised to see that the driver and the commander are bailing out. Yeah, they're bailing out. I get sight, and I fire as well. Looks like I hit the gun. The projectile penetrates straight through. Is deflected by the hit a little bit, down into the ground beyond the vehicle. I fire again at another tank. I slightly miss. But I follow up with another shot, and this one is good. It goes straight into the side of the tank. Doesn't hit any crew members. No, actually, we don't. We do hit the gunner's torso. Yeah, we do. Okay, the gunner is wounded by one little piece of shrapnel bouncing off the turret roof back down into him. But I think he's just wounded. Slightly wounded. We do not penetrate any propellant casing or warhead, so this thing is not on fire right now, which is why I fire again, this time with better results. The shell tears straight through that spare ammo back there in the turret, and we do penetrate propellant casing, so now the vehicle is most definitely on fire, and I hope that the crew has an opportunity to bail out. This is where I get hit. So we are coming over the hill here. I fail to spot the enemy. Wait. Did I? There we go. I failed to spot the enemy tanks in the valley floor in time. We have 3 T-72 M1s sitting here. These are actually dangerous. This one fires. 528 meters. The round impacts, yeah. It threads the needle. I can't describe it any other way. It really does thread the needle. Seemingly it goes through the opening for the coaxial machine gun, or very close to it. No, very close to it actually. It penetrates into the turret there, just misses the turret cheek armor. Does hit the gun breech. It does hit the coaxial machine gun, but obviously it was still working after this. The commander's left hand is hit, so that's where he gets wounded. His torso is hit, and his left leg is hit. So the commander does not have a great day, receives multiple wounds to head, torso and leg. This guy needs to see a hospital, a field hospital urgently. But the tank itself is still in fighting condition. Actually, not too much of the round has managed to get inside the crew compartment. Most of it seems to have been stopped by the turret armor and maybe by the main gun mount. Yeah, it tore through the main gun mount. I'm glad that the main gun still worked after this hit. But here we go. We call in artillery on these guys. One shell hits very close to this T-72, but I doubt that it knocked it out. Tanks in this game are incredibly resilient to artillery shells. Nothing like steel armor, where last week you have seen artillery shells land close to that T-62 and yeah, really mess up the crew inside. We come over the hill again and we re-engage. I engage this T-72 down here. I fire basically into the driver's hatch. The round does penetrate into the tank. We do hit a throwing charge, which can be a problem for the tank. Absolutely. And we do hit propellant casing and warheads, but we do not penetrate them, so I think that this thing is actually still okay, which is insane. Another one of my tank fires a heat shell at the rightmost tank, but the impact angle is bad and the shell does nothing. I try to fire, but I fire short. I fire into the ground in front of me. Another one of my tanks opens up on the rightmost tank again, hits the side of the turret this time, penetrates. The gun breech is hit. but nothing else. I get line of sight to the center tank, I fire at it, I penetrate the side of the turret, but most of it goes into the gun breach. We do also hit the gunner's side complex, so they will have trouble shooting back. The autoloader is hit, propellant casing is hit, but unfortunately not penetrated. One of my tanks continues to engage the rightmost tank here. This is a good shot. Penetrates through the side of the tank and just tears through the fighting compartment. A warhead is hit and penetrated, so this thing is just going up. This is a big bada boom. Or it's immediately on fire, I would assume. Unless that warhead that was hit is actually just a sabot dart, but I don't think so. We continue, I continue shooting. I fire a little bit over, don't hit my target. I fire again, now I fire too low, just hit the track. Okay, they fire back at me. The central one manages to fire around at me, hits my turret, once again hits in like the worst place for me, just in between the turret cheek armor and the gun mount, where the round manages to penetrate. Well, let's see, we have... The commander's GPS extension is hit, the gun breach is hit, and the turret cheek backing plate is hit, but nothing else. We are very lucky that this did not cause further injuries inside the tank. I fire back. This time I penetrate. Looks like I penetrate partially into the ammunition carousel and into the engine. We mess up a lot of things there and we do penetrate propellant casing. So that's curtains for this tank. Yeah, all three tanks have now been defeated. We are continuing. We have now driven back to roll up the valley from the front. As we come over this ridge, we encounter this BMP sitting here. I fire a shell at it. The shell just tears straight through the vehicle. I should have fired a little bit lower. But the driver is hit in the neck, so he's probably done. Commander is hit. We do hit and penetrate a warhead, so this thing is on fire now. The infantry, seeing what is about to happen, starts to run away. I follow up with a heat shell. That tears straight through the vehicle. Does catch a few guys beyond the BMP. I fire again, but... I wanted to fire at the infantry, I think, but I just miss. There's this BMP that has been taken out earlier. Just because it's not on fire yet, I fire another heat round at it. And then finally, we have the artillery coming down. This artillery shell here is one of the many that came down around this BMP to kill these poor infantry guys that are now, you can see them here in the field, running. They are running, but they don't have a chance. They're in the open and my tanks are on them. That's like the worst place to be. The very worst place to be. So, KESTREL. An interesting mission. An interesting mission indeed, with lots of enemy infantry. I'm just glad that we didn't eat an RPG. An RPG to the side of our tank can really ruin our day. So I'm glad that that didn't happen. And it was a fun mission to play. It really was. Quite exciting, in fact. I hope that you have enjoyed watching it. I hope that you have enjoyed the, let's call it, special episodes on Steel Armor Blaze of War. And let me know in the comments what you think about this GHPC episode today. And maybe what you think about Steel Armor. I'm really appreciating your comments on this. And I'm interested to see what you think about these two games. So, once again, thank you very much. I hope to see you again soon. Until then, have some really great days and goodbye.